From that, we move into sketching, where we're throwing around ideation, ideas, what works, what doesn't work, drawing it out, sketching it out, rendering it out, and you see an example of some of that right there. So
yeah, you see France rendering, going through the ideation. It's getting to a level of understanding that before you go into VR, we know what we're getting and we know what we're going to design. So as we go into VR, you see Dallas, you see a couple of our best designers out here really going at it, developing the craft in a 3D space. That's our GM. We go into space. It's a real vibe. We just go there, we create, we have fun. It's not the regular 9-to-5 office you see. We just in there, chilling, designing, saying, nah, that ain't good, that's right, having fun.
Really pushing each other, to create something spectacular. And then we talk about materials when we're moving into finalizing the product. What is it going to be made of? How is it going to look? What you're seeing behind me is a look at how detailed you can get in the 3D or VR space. And you see everything from tennis shoes to running shoes and some other shoes, and sort of what that looks like in that space. And I'll also show you an example of that as well.
Yeah, because here we go through color, we go through understanding the form and shape of things. So when we develop concepts, and all these are just concepts, none of these are just ideas that move forward, but so many ideas you have to kick out and have fun and come up with that right answer. That's what it's all about. This is when we get into color in the shoes, seeing materials, adding other ideas and little aspects that usually people overlook.
And basically turning an idea into reality. What's interesting about VR is once you create it in that 3D space, you can go and print it. And you see an example of some of the printing machines. It prints out these 3D models and you have to clean it up or whatever after it's printed, but here's an example of how some of the models come out. And you can get super detailed, you can have fun, you can really express what the idea is that you're trying to get out. And an example of some of the final shoes. When you're designing, it's important to always stay inspired, right? It's always looking at what's out there in the market, whether it's sport, whether it's fashion, keeping your ideas fresh so that you're not left behind, right? And the interesting thing about being a designer is you get to work with amazing, legendary athletes, collaborators.
And it's like face to face, you get to understand their dreams, their hopes, the things, their messages. And as designers, you gotta be a creative problem solver. How do you take what they're giving you and translate that to these answers? And these are sculptures you just have fun with. But when you see that we are over here working with Kai, bringing his dreams to life, expressing different ideas, and he's very hands-on, he's very creative. So when we work together, magics happen, and the products that we develop in, I think it's pretty breathtaking, yeah.
Finally, you get to build a legacy, right? Whether you're working with athletes, working with other collaborators, you get to tell that story, and that story goes out there, and it's a part of you. It's a piece of what you guys built together. Let's give it up for the presentation, y'all.